This is Tammy Brady, and this is my vlog of the poem Osso Bucco by Billy Collins. The poem Osso Bucco by Billy Collins feels like an invitation to dinner with the poet himself throughout the poem. Collins' theme of contentment is easy to find. He uses ordinary language with few symbols to interpret. He is a master of simple storytelling, and his poem makes you feel like an invited guest to his house, where his wife has prepared a meal in your honor. Collins provides a slow, deliberate description of the meal and takes his time to tell the story of a lazy evening that centers around a delicious meal with wine as the drink of choice. "I love the sound of the bone against the plate," he says in the first line of the poem. He goes on to describe the softness of the meat and the tender marrow inside the bone that is sought out like a prize as the meal progresses. Once the meal has been consumed and cold, exhilarating wine enjoyed, the poet is ready to retire to his favorite chair. Collins takes us from the dining room to the living room as he describes himself tilted back in his chair, a creature with a full stomach according to line 10. All of us can identify with eating so much good food that we can hardly wait to sink into our favorite chair. Collins' theme of contentment continues to be found throughout the poem as he talks about swaying after the meal is over, which gives us a picture of a man so full and perhaps drunk that he cannot quite walk straight. All he wants to do is to sink into his favorite chair. To sink into his favorite comfortable chair, tilted back, and enjoy the moment. In the next section of the poem, Collins moves the reader to a place much farther away than his living room as he continues to describe his relaxed state. He evokes images of the African continent by saying that the lion of contentment has placed a warm, heavy paw on my chest, and I can only close my eyes and listen to the drums in the distance. Collins once again paints a good picture of a man who is content with the world being lulled to sleep by the distant sound of a drum. The description of the lion causes us to see the majestic animal in our mind's eye, one that has feasted and become sleepy. Collins then talks about himself feeling like one of the friendly natives, a reliable guide, maybe even the chief's son. Collins is so content with his life at the moment that he feels like a special person, a chief's son, who enjoys the rich food and the perks of being related to the chief himself. The poem helps the reader to see that simple things in life, such as good food, good wine, a comfortable place to rest, and a warm home are blessings that should be enjoyed and even savored. Time almost seems to stand still during the telling of the story, and you get a sense that Collins prefers a slower pace of life, along with the simple joys that many people often overlook. Collins acknowledges that other people in the world might not share his contentment. He describes a man crawling on bleeding knees and people of the world sitting across a long, empty table, obviously a symbol for hunger. This stands in stark contrast to Collins' home, where a wonderful meal was prepared, enjoyed, and contentment with life had set in as his mind drifted to far-away places as his wife spoke to a friend on the telephone. Candles left on the table give off a warm glow, but no one is there to enjoy them as they cast shadows onto the plates, silverware, and crumpled napkins left over from the meal. Collins and his wife have moved on to other activities. Collins says that at some point he'll go up to bed, or maybe his wife will. There's no real schedule or plan. Again, he's living in the moment, full and content and blessed by simple things. He acknowledges that he will climb under the covers and begin to dream, slowly losing touch with his surroundings as he enters a deeper and deeper level of rest. Osso Bucco is a brilliant work by Billy Collins and shows his ability to write about something ordinary like a meal and an evening at home, and do so with simplicity that does not leave readers wondering what he meant. Some poems are difficult to understand and make sense of the imagery, but not so with Collins. Collins wants the reader to see that living in the moment is a good thing, and enjoying simple little things like a good meal can bring great enjoyment, even pleasure, to everyday life. There are pleasures in the simple things of life, and Collins knows this. What was his goal in writing this poem? I think it was to have the reader join him and acknowledge that slowing down and enjoying food, candles, a warm home, a comfortable bed, a favorite chair, and the companionship of another human think might just be enough to help a person realize that they are rich beyond measure. How would you say to approach life? I think kids say, be content with what you have because you have more than you realize.